Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I wanted to just furthermore talk on the topic of racism because I feel like some people don't understand how serious racism is. Like there's the people out there that just, they do it because that's their sense of humor and stuff. And that's the thing, like, if you are public about that, like you post about that stuff, like you're thriving for that attention, and like it's you being racist in the comment sections of somebody or for whatever reason, but either way, it's like there's no excuse for it, and you can't say some stuff like, oh, it's just my sense of humor, so therefore I'm not racist, or that's like you're trying to come up with some reason to defend how you act, but there's no defense with that. Like there's nothing that you can say or do that can be like, oh, okay, like nah, like, oh, it's cool. Like a lot of people, and that's why overall I want to be I'm gonna be talking about in this episode is that racism is traumatizing, to a lot of people. Like for me, for the most part, when I get like racist comments online, they don't do nothing to me or for me. I see it as like racism. If somebody's like taking the time to leave some racist comment underneath my videos, and I'm like, okay, let me sit down and think about it. Who's really wasting their time here? The content creator being me being myself, or this person leaving out some racist rant in my comment sections. They're wasting their time. So at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, that's on you. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm like, I'm just gonna still continue doing my thing. It's like it ain't gonna stop me or slow me down or anything. So like, I guess it's it's a waste of time that I gotta delete the comments and stuff. But I mean, eventually I'll just block the person and then move on with my life. But yeah, it's just at times where like the racism, it's like, bro, like for me, I have to say I've never been offended by any form of racism that I received online, but I know others out there that have. They've been offended, and then there's people out there that told me like they ask me or they tell me like, I don't know how you managed to do it, and you out here getting like racist comments and stuff. Like I have it where my family, friends, it's a lot of people that tell me that, and it just shocks people a lot of the times. Like when I tell them like some of the racist encounterments I've had. I remember I was telling this book author a while ago how I was received like some racist encounterments, and yeah, she was she was shocked by it because you don't think that people can be that evil online. Like, and it's crazy. Like, no, I sit down, I think about it myself. I'm like, I don't even know how people can be that evil online. I'm like, bro, what made you hate a black person, or what made you hate an Asian person, or what made you hate like any race out there that you're attacking? But it's always some excuse for it, and I'm like, bro, my thing is this: it don't matter how you describe it, it don't matter how you say it, it don't matter. Like racism is racism, like, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. And that's always like a while ago when I was talking on the one guy that was in my Twitch streams talking about how he would turn down somebody for the color of their skin. Now, the reason why that I would have to say I took a lot of offense from him saying that is because that's something that I dealt with when I was in school. I think I've talked on that story before, but I was that person that was turned down because of the color of their skin. And when you hear somebody say that and then they just come out and they're all like, oh yeah, I think that's normal, I think that's okay. It's not okay. Nobody will be okay with that. I'm saying, like, and that's one of the things I just, when I hate like when a person starts a conversation, especially like, a controversial or something that's going to receive a response. But when you respond in a way that they're not familiar with, they don't want to answer questions. They want to avoid the question as much as they can. I'm like, I'm not with that. If you're going to bring up something like that, I think at the end of the day, if you really like fall in love with somebody and they turn you down because of the color of your skin, you're not going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to trip about it. I'm not going to be offended. That's how they feel. No, There's not one person in this world that thinks along those lines. You're saying that now, and that's like with any situation out there. You say how you would react or what you would do in this situation, but you've never been in that situation. You're just only going based off of that's literally everybody that has walked the face of this earth. Where like, okay, like you're dealing with something, or you're talking on as something that you've never dealt with, and you're talking on as if like, oh yeah, I'm big, I'm bad, I can't, ain't gonna affect me, they ain't gonna mess me up and stuff. And I'm like, nah. Once you deal with that and it hits you where it hurts, yeah, you gonna be dealing with it. You ain't gonna be no situation where you're just like, oh okay, I'm not gonna be tripping about it and stuff. Like, I just refuse to believe people wouldn't, sure. I think anybody would. And every time when I brought that up to people, when I've told them that situation where, like, a girl turned me down for the color of my skin, there was like people legit like wanting to find out who she is, and I'm like, nah, it's just, it's not worth it. My thing is this, karma made its way, and it's, it sucks to bring it up and it sucks to say it, and I'm like, I really hate being that person where it's like, oh yeah, like, karma made its way, but I'm like, nah, it did, because that girl, she's been in numerous relationships, and I'm sorry to see it, I guess, like, but yeah, I'm like, nah, that girl, she's been in numerous relationships ever since that had happened. I remember she was like, how many relationships? I think it was like 2 or 3 relationships she had in high school or something. I'm like, dang, bruh. And that was just like within the 2 years. I remember when we started going to school with each other and things. So I was like, nah, it was tough. And then even afterwards, I'm like, and I remember the last time I talked with her, she was having relationship issues. I'm like, that's the thing. People don't realize that. They don't realize that till the last second. And then that's when they're like, oh, well, now I feel bad. Now I'm, and it's, look, like, you ever, like, if anybody that's thinking along those lines, stop thinking along those lines. Don't turn somebody down for the color of their skin. Because, no, like, I had to say, like, that was, a traumatizing moment in my life. Because I've never dealt with something like that. Especially from somebody that you at one point in time called a friend. Like, outside of me having feelings for this girl, like, she was a friend of mine. And so a part of me, like, had always seen that from her. And then that's why it was like years down the road later when I talked with her, but it's still at the end of the day, I'm like, that was still at the, like, at the, like, just in the back of my mind. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I just don't really even see us being friends anymore, because I'm like, that's literally what's gonna run through my mind every time. Like, that was like the last, like, crazy conversation we had, and after that it's always been like, small conversations and stuff. But other than that, I'm like, I just, I really don't see myself. Like, here's the thing, I'm a forgiving person. I always will be a forgiving person, but I just feel like, things that have left me traumatized to where, like, I feel insecure about myself, to where I, at one point in time I did feel insecure about myself, but it's like, that is one of the many things that runs through my mind, like, in the overthinking process, like, where I'm attracted to a woman and I'm talking with her, she's kind of like, like, not too, like, quick to jump into a relationship with me, or she just doesn't want to be. That's like one of the things that runs through my mind, like, what if that's the case? What if that's the case, but she doesn't want to tell me because she cherishes our friendship? And I'm like, nah, it's stuff like that. I'm like, I need to know. And I just think that with, like, every girl, like, like, that I've been rejected by, I'm like, dang, is that the reason? And I'm like, nah, it can't be. But I'm like, it could, like, I don't know. But yeah, it's, it's a lot of stuff that runs through your mind, especially in a, traumatizing situation like that. But yeah, I'm like, I just think that, something like that, it's just, you can't be, well, my thing is this, you shouldn't be open about it, and then you shouldn't, like, keep it to yourself. You shouldn't overall be that, form of racist at all. Like, where you're like, oh, I can't date somebody for the color of their skin. I'm like, nah, never, never just drop that out your head if you are thinking along those lines. But other than that, I have to say, what other things can I say about racism? But, and then even, like, when I say, because that was another reason why I'm doing this episode, is because, there was a while ago, maybe, well, not a while ago, maybe a few days ago on Twitter, And I saw this post where this guy, he said, oh no, yeah, it was the Jake Paul and the Tyron Woodley fight. And the guy, he said some racist stuff, and I'm like, I just don't understand it. I'm like, why do you have to be racist even in a situation like this? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, all you have to do is just not post racist stuff. And yeah, at the end of the day, they're just doing it for a reaction. They're just doing it to, like gain attention and stuff. And I'm like, that's my advice to everybody out there. If you do see some racist stuff online, as offensive as it may be, hey, just delete it or not delete it. Well, I mean, like if it's on another person's profile, then ignore it. But if it's on your profile, like let's say it's in your comment sections or something, then yeah, you can delete that stuff. Like, nah, don't listen to a person, because people out there like to say some dumb stuff like, oh, you can't delete comments or something. Like, if they give you that option, yes, you can. You can too delete comments. I'm like, I've been deleting comments since 2015, bruh. Like, I'm saying, like, in comments, I'm like, people, they get on you about that. I'm like, man, I ain't hearing nothing that you have to say. Watch your comment get deleted. I could care less what you have to say. So, but anyways, no, I was like, I saw some people leaving, one guy leaving a racist comment about that Tyrone Woodley and Jake Paul fight, and I'm like, man, like, why do people have to, like, be racist even in a situation like that? I'm like, it ain't even about race. Like, I understand, like, people, they, like, cracking jokes about it and stuff, but I just think that, like, you should, like, at least just, let you and let everybody else know, like, I'm not being serious. Because, no, I'll admit, I was, like, cracking some, like, I've cracked so many jokes about, black people, white people, like, maybe not so much as jokes, but it's just more, like, stereotypes and stuff. Like, I said, like, people overseas are, like, smart. Because, who was it? Somebody was joining my stream the other day and was talking about that, how they in school. Like, they pretty much said they in school the whole day. And I'm like, bruh, like, that's why people overseas are smart, because y'all is in school the whole day. Then I'm like, I heard in some places they only get summer vacations, so that's just school all year long. And I'm like, nah, that's, I don't even feel like that's me being racist. That's just me stating the fact. Like, if you say that's racist, if you're saying that me saying that you're smarter than, like, the average person, or, like, not even that, but me just saying that you're smart, just in general, you're just smart. And I'm like, nah, like, that, how is something like that? Now, that's all I would ask, like, how is that racist? Or me saying, like, freaking, I don't know, black people get killed too much in horror movies. How is that racist? Like, that's stuff like that where I'm like, I've had, like, white, black, Asian, like, Hispanic. I've had so many different people, like, agree and laugh about it, because why? We have watched the same horror movies. We have, like, so I'm like, legit, my thing is, and that's something where I'm like, I know somebody is not going to look at me and burst out in tears and start crying because I say black people die a lot in scary movies. Like, honestly, I would look at a person and be like, nah, something wrong with you. Like, you can't have no conversation with that person. If they cry on some stuff like that, they're gonna cry on some smaller things. So, but having it where, like, somebody, going back to the situation with that girl where she's all like, oh, I can't date you because you're black. Like, no, that's, like, that, I'll admit, and I ain't even afraid to admit it, like, no, that did cause me to cry. But it was more so of an angry cry. It wasn't like I was, like, sad, like, she don't want me. I was angry, like, why would you tell me some stuff like that? And I think that's why, like, now I just can't, like, with that particular girl, I can't have, like, no conversation with her, and then it's like, it's positive, or I just, like, I just see differently of her now. Like, I don't see the same person I saw when we, like, started being friends. Like, nah, I just see somebody completely different. Because I'm like, dang, like, that's kind of messed. That ain't even kind of, like, nah, that's just full 100% messed up. And like I said, like, every time when I've told people about that story, I'm like, they always trip about it. So I'm like, okay, well, I know that it's racist and stuff when people are literally, like, tripping about it and things. But yeah, I'm like, it is what it is. With her, it is what it is. If there's ever a time where our paths cross, I ain't gonna be like, oh, I can't talk with you. I'm just gonna, like, hey, like, we can talk, we could be cool, but at the end of the day, I'm like, nah, like, you said some stuff that put me in a point in time in my life, like, not even a point in time, like, literally for the rest of my life, where, like, that's something that, like, crosses my mind, and it shouldn't, you know, because I'm like, I know everybody out there isn't, you know, racist, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know. So I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to go to and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, because that's what I always think now. So, and then just thinking of like my childhood and so many like racist people I've encountered and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's like to think like one of your closest friends is like racist too. Yeah, it's crazy. So, anyways, but yeah, it's somewhere it's like eventually you do like somewhat like you manage to like manage it and stuff where it's like not occupying your life 24/7 and things. You manage to think of other and do other things. But yeah, it was just a crazy situation. I'd recommend like talking with friends and to like, I don't know, like seeking out help in a situation like that where you are literally breaking down and stuff. So, but anyways, and that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. I'm not gonna do no promo episode because this is kind of a serious topic and stuff. So thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode, and peace.